welcome to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ is Lord. Let's get into it, y'all. So, the Damon Stoudamire trade in 1998 with the Toronto Raptors, that was just one of the many things that was taking place around that organization around that time. I was actually watching a Toronto Raptors special on YouTube, and it showed the birth of the franchise, the players, the executives, the management, Isiah, the players that were drafted. They did win 21 games in their first year, including a victory over the eventual champion Chicago Bulls. That's right. They defeated the Chicago Bulls 109 to 108. Okay. Believe it or not, yes, they defeated the Chicago Bulls 109 to 108 in Toronto. Okay. So that was a highlight of their inaugural season. Okay. So then in 1996, then in the 96 draft, they draft Marcus Camby to go along with Damon Stoudamire, okay? And then they go from 21 wins in their first season to improving to 30 wins in their second season. Then in 1998, they went back to the Toronto Raptors. They won only 19 games that season, okay? And that was among the several things that were taking place within that organization. Okay, there was the fact that McGrady came in. Okay, it said he was talented, but he was young, raw, immature. Damon Stoudamire said one of the biggest things that happened in Toronto was not letting him grow. So Damon Stoudamire said they didn't give Tracy McGrady a chance to grow. Okay. And there were also some people who said there wasn't much support for him in the organization coming in as a 18-year-old rookie. Okay. No, there wasn't much support for him coming in as an 18-year-old rookie. Darrell Walker was his first coach, and he and Darrell Walker did not get along. He didn't understand about being didn't know what being a pro was all about. Okay. One of his teammates, D.E. Brown, said, "Who shows up for practice 15 minutes late? Arriving to the plane late? Not listening in film session?" That was Tracy McGrady. Darrell Walker said he probably hated me as the head coach, but he could really care less. So Darrell Walker really didn't care if Tracy McGrady hated him or not. Tracy McGrady said Darrell Walker made the statement that if Darrell Walker said he would be out of the league in 3 years, okay? Well, that is just a wee bit inaccurate, okay? Just a wee bit inaccurate. So there was somebody else who said if he doesn't watch out, he's going to be out of the league in 3 years, okay? Then Darrell Walker said it his own self. Darrell Walker clarified his own statement. Well, he didn't really clarify it. This was Darrell Walker's statement from Darrell Walker. He said, if he doesn't learn to practice harder, if he doesn't learn to go harder, he's going to be out of the league in 3 years. Okay? That's what Darrell Walker said, coming from Darrell Walker's mouth. Okay? So all Darrell Walker was saying, hey, work harder. That's all you got to do. Just work harder. Practice harder. That's how you say in this league. Okay? That's all Darrell Walker was saying. And so I remember watching an episode of NBA Open Court. And Ernie Johnson said to Tracy McGrady, Ernie Johnson was like, did you regret coming out of high school? And Tracy McGrady said, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And Ernie Johnson said, because you had some cold days in Toronto. And McGrady was like, very cold days, yes. So then Ernie Johnson said, because I can recall a piece that they did on you where it wasn't exactly looking like you weren't having the time of your life in Toronto. Then he said, well, Darrell Walker kind of ruined that for me. Yeah, so that's all Darrell Walker was saying. Hey, practice harder. Hey, practice harder. Work harder. Play harder. And you're going to last a long time in this league. Um, and people thought that Darrell Walker got fired. Darrell Walker didn't get fired. He resigned. And Raptors management was telling him, hey, don't resign. And he was like, no, no, no. Darrell Walker was like, no, no, no. I'm out of here, period. I'm gone. Okay. Then there was the ownership change that took place. Okay. Um, in the midst of the ownership change, Isiah ended up leaving. Um, and he and Damon Stoudamire were here. Okay. Isiah and Damon were her close. They were close. Okay. And so Isiah left the Raptors, came to the NBA on NBC for a couple of years. Okay. And so Damon wanted out. Isiah left. Stoudamire wanted out. Stoudamire said, to see someone every day, to have dialogue, and now they are not there. That messed me up. I didn't know where I stood, even though I knew where I stood. It was immaturity. Okay. Stoudamire also said that he was traded to Houston, so I looked that up, and he was traded to Houston. He was traded to Houston, but this is what Damon Stoudamire said. He was traded to Houston. The Raptors took him out of shoot around, and he's thinking to himself, I'm going to be playing with Clyde, Hakeem, Chuck, Sir Charles. Okay. They called me back, the Raptors. I guess the Raptors called him back and said, we're not doing the deal. It's better offers thrown out there. So I'm like, y'all want me to come and play? I was like, man, this is straight head up business. So Stoudamire went out and played against the Sacramento Kings, and he had 36 that night. And there was some trust lost. Okay. And the fact that Isiah left, he was Damon's guy. Hey, but Mr. Stoudamire said, hey, it was just immaturity on his part. Okay. So up until the time of the trade, the rookie of the year, 1995-96, 19 points per game. Then through 1997 and 1998, the first half of 98, he was averaging 20 points per game. Okay. So there was some anti-Damon sentiment. Okay. Mix of boos and cheers. And on draft night, the Raptor fans booed the selection of Damon Stoudamire because the Raptor fans wanted to take Ed O'Bannon. Think about that for a second. They booed Damon Stoudamire, and they wanted the Raptor fans wanted to take Ed O'Bannon from UCLA. Look at how Damon Stoudamire's career went. Look at how Ed O'Bannon's career went. And I'll leave it at that. So eventually he gets traded to the Portland Trailblazers. Damon Stoudamire does. Not only do they get Damon Stoudamire, but they also get Walt Williams and Carlos Rogers. The Raptors, in return, get Alvin Williams, who was there the longest of that trade. From the time Alvin Williams got there during the trade, he was there until 2006. Gary Trent was also involved in that deal. Kenny Anderson was also involved in that deal. Anderson never reported to Toronto, so the Raptors eventually ended up trading him to the Boston Celtics. Okay. Ironically, for Chauncey Billups. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot going on around that franchise at that time. And so just think about that core, that young core that they were building. You could have had McGrady, Camby, Stoudamire, and Vince Carter all on that roster. But ownership changes. Stoudamire wanting out. Camby traded in the 1998 offseason to the New York Knicks for Charles Oakley. Okay. And so, that promising young core was broken up. Now, they did draft Vince Carter, and that combo of T-Mac and Vince Carter, surrounded by veterans Muggsy Bogues, Charles Oakley, Antonio Davis, Kevin Willis, D. Brown, Doug Christie, okay, all those veterans that were surrounding those young superstars. And Tracy McGrady said it. Seeing how these guys dressed, how they carry themselves, how they practice, that eventually rubbed off on Tracy McGrady. Okay, so from going from an 18-year-old kid who misses planes, doesn't listen in meetings, and shows up late for practice, going from that to the Hall of Fame, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good career right there. But you always got to wonder if that core could have stayed together. You wonder if they had a team of Stoudamire, Vince Carter, Camby, and McGrady. Championship contender right there, at the least. But we will never know. We'll never know. So, yeah. All right. That's it. That's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. May God bless you all. I am out of here. Peace.